This is a peaceful protest by the Anang Nation. They are actually rejecting the bill, the Traditional Rulers Council law that has been amended by the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly.
I want to believe that you're aware that Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has recently just changed the law that governed the Akwa Ibom State Council of Chief and has equally changed the name from Council of Chief to the Akwa Ibom State Supreme Council of Traditional Rulers. And somehow this change doesn't seem to sit well with some other tribes in Akwa Ibom, especially the Anau and the Oro Nation.
Our son, the so-called house member from the Anang land, went ahead and passed an anti-people's bill, a bill against the Anang, a bill against the heritage that we all come from.
You can see that there is something serious about this bill, and this is begging for answer. What is it about this bill?
Today, I want the governor of Akwa Ibom State to note that an attempt to assent to that bill is an attempt to divide Akwa Ibom State. Yeah.
All right, my work today is just to let you understand exactly the details of this bill and why some of the tribes in Akwa Ibom are not happy about this bill. So please permit me to read some part of the bill for clarity before we get into the discussion. The amendment is simply to effect some changes in the governing laws of the Traditional Rulers Council of Akwa Ibom State. And number one thing that I said earlier is that they changed the name from Council of Chiefs to Akwa Ibom State Supreme Council of Traditional Rulers. Now, in this new system, there is what is going to be known as, or what is now known as, the President General. And the President General is supposed to have Vice President 1 and Vice President 2. Now, the President General, by this law, the man is eligible to be the president of the Supreme Council is the traditional ruler of the Ibibio nation. Akwa Ibom. Now, the Vice President 1 is the traditional ruler of the Anang nation, Akwa Okuku Anang. And then the President 2 is the leader, the traditional ruler of the Oro nation, the Ata Oro. That is what this law has listed out as the qualified and eligible leaders to occupy the President General position, the Vice President 1, and the Vice President 2. In this Supreme Council, there is also going to be an office of the Chairman of Council. So he shall get orders and directive from the President General. That also doesn't seem to sit well with some of the people who were protesting on Saturday. Listen to this.
Also have what they call Chairman of Akwa Ibom State Council of Chiefs. That is conflict. You cannot have a president and you also have a chairman in the same structure. It is wrong. It is to bring rancor, it is to bring acrimony.
All right. Now, the whole matter right now is the fact that the office of the Chairman of Council is rotational and it is on 2 terms tenure. But the office of the President General, the Vice President 1, and the Vice President 2 are not rotational, which means if the Akwa Ibom dies today, the next man to assume that office automatically becomes the President General. And if the Akwa Okuku dies today, the man to succeed him automatically becomes the Vice President 2. This is because the new law is seemingly silent on the succession plan and the transitional arrangement for these 3 prominent offices in this Supreme Council of Traditional Rulers. And a lot of the people of the other tribes are now seeing it as a permanent arrangement to keep them as second-class citizens and third-class citizens.
For peace to reign, they instituted the rotational system in the traditional institution. We inherited it from Eastern Nigeria. We inherited it from Cross River State. And until yesterday, Akwa Ibom was peaceful. Your Excellency, Mr. Governor, it is not in your time that you divide Akwa Ibom. It is not in your time that you subject the Anang people, that you subject the Oro people, that you subject the Igbo people, that you subject the Oboro people, that you subject all minorities to second class and third class citizens. We will refuse to be classified as second class or third class citizens.
Section 49, subsection 3 of this new law expressly states that the office of the chairman of council shall be rotational. Two things have been mentioned here. First one is this office you occupy for 2 years, after which someone else can be appointed, and then it is rotational. Now, this means that if an Ibibio man is the man in charge now, after 2 years, he can move to Anang, and after the Anang person, it goes to Oron, and then comes back to Ibibio. So it is rotational, it is not fixed. Now, a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people have problem with that. This is where a lot of people seems to have a problem with. The office of the President General, the office of the Vice President 1, and the office of the Vice President 2 is where the whole problem is coming from. The first time I heard this thing, people say that the law is classifying Akwa Ibomite into hierarchy. So we had the first class citizen, we had the second class citizen, and we had the third class citizen. Now, why are people thinking this way? For the office of the chairman of council, it is stipulated that the office is rotational, but there is no such clause. So these offices do not have a swap. And then if you are from Anang, there is no provision in that law that you can assume the office of the President General. Well, my brothers and sisters, that is where the whole wahala came out from. From the little analysis I've given, I think you will be able to understand where the whole issue came out from. The governor also came out to give an explanation that he was never involved in the decision, as the traditional rulers actually came together to make the decision themselves. So the governor explained that his duty was simply to give his own assent to the bill when it was presented to him upon his return from New York. Let's listen to what the governor said, and then you are going to decide if there is an error with the bill, or what do you think the government of Akwa Ibom or the House of Assembly could do to address this issue, if there is an issue at all.
I'd like to explain to the Akwa Ibom people the position today that government has adopted. And I'd like to allow the Akwa Ibom people to judge for themselves what the truth is, because of the several insinuations and misunderstanding that is being created in the minds of people. Before I came into office, the paramount rulers of Akwa Ibom had met in a meeting. Themselves, I was just a witness to that meeting. And they had an understanding and an agreement amongst themselves. I mean the 31 paramount rulers in Akwa Ibom, apart from those that were sick or deceased. They had agreed that to enable Akwa Ibom play a role in the National Traditional Rulers Council, there was a need to elevate the Traditional Rulers Council to now be called the Supreme Council of Traditional Rulers, headed by a President General that they had for 4 years. I didn't appoint. And that President General, incidentally, is the Akwa Ibom Ibibio. And along with him, they now chose a Vice President General 1, the Nkuku Anang. They chose Vice President General 2, Ata Oro. And then they agreed among themselves. They said that will represent the Supreme Council of the traditional rulers for the purposes of playing at the national level. And they now agreed at that meeting to rotate the chairmanship of the Traditional Rulers Council of the state, as it has always been. That decision was taken without my interference. To make that possible, we needed to back it up by law. And so when I came into office, we had to consult, and then the bill was sent to the House of Assembly to make into law, bring into law what they already had agreed. And so the bill went to the House of Assembly, went through, and I understand there was a public hearing. The bill was passed, and I came back yesterday and signed the bill into law. I believe that doing that was to honor our royal fathers. And as a governor, I expected them to invite me as their son to thank me for respecting their wishes and following up what they wanted. I did not originate the bill. I did not even have a part in that bill. I ran for office as governor of Akwa Ibom State, for the Ibibios, for the Anangs, for the Oron, for everyone. And I will respect that until the day I leave office. And so this is not anything to whip up ethnic sentiments. That is the story, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. And if any of them will counter what I've said today, I'd like to meet them face to face and let God bear me witness.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video this far. Thank you for watching. Please share this video. Now you have heard from the people, you have heard from the governor, and you have also heard the content of this bill that has raised a lot of dust throughout the weekend. So what do you think? As an Akwa Ibomite, as somebody who have actually understood what has been discussed so far, what is your opinion? Drop in the comment section. Let me just hear from you. Thank you for watching. Please share. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you and God bless you. Remember, Akwa Ibom is one, and so shall we remain forever and ever and ever and ever. Amen. Thank you.